Maracuja proved to be no threat to Malafat and the Kentucky Oaks, but she upset her in the coaching club American Oaks at 14-1. Malafat was 1-5 that day. It's a rubber match of sorts in Saturday's Grade 1 Alabama going a mile and a quarter at Saratoga. Joe Kristufek and Scott Shapiro. And Scott, I don't think anyone was necessarily shocked that Malafat got beat, although she was the heavy favorite. You thought maybe somebody could defeat her. I think Maracuja maybe was the surprise, though.
No doubt about it, Joe. Maracuja going off at, like you said, almost 15-1 in a 4-horse field. I would call that quite the upset. And it was quite a ride that day by Ricardo Santana Jr., originally getting involved early on with Malafat, dropping back off the early pace and then coming again. What a thrilling race it was. You could argue Malafat ran as good as she did in the Kentucky Oaks. Hard to knock her performance or Maracuja's. Probably going to be a little different in this spot, though, with the presence of Played Hard, who has been very impressive since stretching out the 2 turns for Phil Bauer and Rigney Racing. Big step up in class. The mile and a quarter is a question. But with Malafat drawn to the outside of Played Hard, I would not expect her to be on the front end like she was when drawn to the inside in that compact group of 4.
Malafat even money in David Aragona's morning line. Maracuja 7-2. But I agree with you. It was a great great ride by Ricardo Santana Jr. He was up there pressing Malafat, then kind of stalked the pace. Clairiere took a shot at her, and then Maracuja just wore down. They galloped out pretty much in tandem. Does that differential in price kind of steer you towards Maracuja, or do you think that Malafat's that much better and that she's going to be worthy of being the shorter price and thus being backed?
Of the two of them, I do prefer Malafat in here, despite the contradiction in price here. Definitely going to get a much better price on Maracuja. But I did think last time was the time for her. Wouldn't be surprised if she took a little bit of a step back. That was a huge effort from her. We hadn't seen that big of an effort. Where with Malafat, she did all the dirty work. We've seen an effort similar to that in her past performances. She is the clear one to beat in here, but Joe, I am going to take a shot against both of them.
Yeah, I did go with Maracuja just because of that differential in price, and just because, like a lot of people out there that are going to be wagering on it, you got to see her do it again. But at 7-2, I'm going to bank that maybe she can. I think the price will be good enough to maybe put her in a position to win back-to-back races in New York. Let's take a look at some of the potential upsetters, Scott. You said you gravitated towards one of those. Kenny McPeak has won this race 2 of the last 3 years, and he's got a horse that's won 2 in a row.
Yeah, Crazy Beautiful, the horse that you speak of, the daughter of Liam's Map, has done very little wrong over her last 4 starts, other than her effort in the Kentucky Oaks. But I'm going to forgive that effort. She didn't come out of the gate all that well, kind of veered outward, got bumped around in the early going, was way towards the back in a race where it was better off being up closer to the early pace. Malafat did overcome somewhat of a similar poor early start. But Crazy Beautiful, 2 confidence builders in her last 2 races, including a 6-length win in the Grade 3 Delaware Oaks, where she was 1-5 and she did get Lasix. But the effort of the Summer Oaks and her ability, 2-back Summertime Oaks, and her ability to take her game outside of Kentucky, where she usually under Kenny McPeak, makes her a good option in here, 6-1. She is going to have to take a step up, but I do think the mile and a quarter could be up her alley, and I do think you'll get fair value with Maracuja and Malafat in there.
Yeah, low-hanging fruit for Crazy Beautiful at 6-5 in the Summer Oaks and at 1-5 in the Delaware Oaks. She's going to need to step it up, but she's 6-1 in the morning line. And Kenny has won this race 2 of the last 3 years, last year with Swiss Skydiver and in 2018 with Eskimo Kisses. Speaking of taking low-hanging fruit, Army Wife, Mike Maker, last year races, the Black Eyed Susan, the Iowa Oaks. I thought for the most part, Scott, she was visually impressive in both of those wins. Mile and an eighth, mile and a 16th. She is out of an Arch mare. A Declaration of War, you kind of sort of think turf, but she's been very good on dirt. I just think she kind of stretched her talents last time out of Prairie Meadows. I kind of like her forward progression. I'm just not sure she's good enough.
I would agree with that. Hard to knock anything Mike Maker sends out there at the Saratoga meet. What a meet it has been for him, the leading trainer as we speak. Beating the likes of Chad Brown and Todd Pletcher would be quite an accomplishment. I just think Army Wife is a cut below these. I think Crazy Beautiful has more upside, but of the other options, I could see why someone might give Army Wife a look here coming off those two impressive wins.
We have to mention Clariere Scott. You know very well. I've been a big fan of hers since her 2-year-old year. And quite honestly, I wish I would have jumped off the bandwagon a little bit earlier. She's sucked some of the funds out of my Twin Spires account here in 2021. She just seems like maybe she does need that cutback, maybe a 1-turn mile. Maybe she's a deep closing sprinter, but she had every chance in the Coaching Club American Oaks going 9 furlongs. What makes anybody think that she's going to be better over a 1.25 miles?
Yeah, I'm not sure about the cutback. Maybe that would do it. Maybe just a class drop. Just really hasn't taken that step forward. She was really good at 2 and early in 3, but where you were in New Orleans watching her at Fairgrounds, just hasn't taken that step forward. We'll get a better trip, I think, in this race. Irad Ortiz Jr. was kind of forced to make a middle move, or else maybe Malafat thought was going to get away from the field loose on the lead. Probably with played hard in here, an inside draw, we'll be able to sit a pocket type trip, but just a horse I'm willing to let beat me. Will Secret, though, at 15-1, Joe, the other horse we haven't talked about, probably not good enough to win. The Indiana Oaks effort was really underwhelming, but that track was goofy that day. Shared Sense came back to win after a poor performance there at Ellis Park. Maybe Will Secret can kind of take a similar trip that she did in the Kentucky Oaks, where she got a real good voyage under John Court and earn a minor share.
Yeah, good point. I mean, I didn't think Maracuja had any chance in the Coaching Club American Oaks, and she made me look stupid. And horses will do that to you all the time. I'm going to go back to Maracuja, though. She pulled off the upset against Malafat last time. I think she can do it again at a better price. Scott's going to go to Crazy Beautiful in the Grade 1 Alabama on Saturday at Saratoga. Don't forget to opt in to activate the bet back offer at Saratoga on Saturday. All races are eligible for the bet back. Best of luck.